We are live from the French Riviera, sunny Cannes, and we are really pleased to be joined by Sandy Carter, Unstoppable Domains Chief Business Officer. I'm Brian McLennan at BN Crypto. Sandy, it's really lovely to see you.
It's great to be here with this hot weather for sure.
It's been very hot and I'm very busy. I'm sure you've been very busy. It's great to see you. Now, Sandy, you've helped lead Unstoppable Domains through a lot of major transitions, in recent times, from Web3 identity to becoming one of the first ICANN accredited registrar with on-chain capabilities. Just give us a little bit of background on where we are at this moment and what these events mean to you.
Yeah, well, it's been really fascinating being in this space because we started being an on-chain domain provider. That's a great business, but we really had big dreams of going to the entire world. And so we kept waiting for Web2 users to come to us to see the power of being able to use your domain as a crypto address or being able to chat in an encrypted fashion, all of which are very powerful features of the on-chain domain. But what we found is the Web2 guys weren't coming to us, the normies, as we like to call them. And so we decided to go to them. And we did that by tokenizing .com to start with. And what that means is just you place your .com on chain. So not only is sandy.com a DNS domain, but it's also an on-chain domain. So the real power in that, and I think it's really history making, is that we believe that domains now will be the first asset that is not Web2 or Web3, but is both. It's just an asset that exists on chain as well as in the Web2 world. Very powerful. We did that to help bring Web3 to them versus the other way around.
Yeah, you need to bring Web3. You need to come knocking on that door of Web2 and show them the innovations of this space, because a lot of stuff seems to be, it's all behind the scenes, and a lot of the efficiencies that can be unlocked with on-chaining stuff, there's a lot of education needs to happen, really. So now, with traditional domains now fully tradable on-chain, as you just said, through Unstoppable, how do you see this reshaping the future of domaining in general, especially for mainstream users who don't even realize that these things are now on-chain and maybe don't even know what that word means?
Yes, for sure. I think it's quite fascinating for like the typical domainer today. A lot of them are coming to us because we do place their domain on chain. They might not even know what that means, but they know it's free and they know, wow, it's future proofing. Maybe one day I'll need that, or one day I can use that. Or they heard a podcast and they're like, that's something that I really need to take a look at. Now, on the opposite side are Web3 folks who have been using Web3 domains or on-chain domains are also pretty excited because one of the things that in Web3 you've always wanted to do is have a searchable, taggable website. Because today you can do a website in Opera or Chrome with an extension, but who knows to add an extension if you don't know Web3? And so you don't have taggability, searchability, which is so powerful. So now bringing Web2 to them really brings that capability.
The way I look at it is, years ago, because I'm of that age now, you had the .com bubble, and I remember guys and girls were like, "Oh, I bought this .com website, and I've bought like puppieslovefood.com and stuff like that." Now, are you actually seeing that a similar kind of like a wave of the kind of activity in trading and wanting to gain access to unstoppable domains?
So I would say, .com is the power horse, has been, always will be. The next wave actually is .ai. And that was actually first a country code that was brought over for use with artificial intelligence. We believe when ICANN opens up in April of 2026 and they accept the next wave in, we do believe that we see a lot of potential for like .crypto, sandy.crypto as a way to pay, or sandy.wallet, for example. Those will be really, I think, important domains to hold and to host. And I don't know about the speculation because I'm not a financial advisor, but I do think there'll be some real powerhouses in there, just like you saw during the .com or the .ai era. Like someone bought OpenAI.com for like a bazillion dollars. They first paid probably 11 for it. They got a bazillion dollars for it. I think we're going to see some of the same thing.
Yeah. For me, anyway, that kind of a new wave like that is interesting, but especially now that it's on chain. So now let's sort of like move into partnerships. you've just launched a partnership with Brave, which is deeply rooted in decentralization. How do you select and build around these partner branded TLDs? And what made that particular partnership particularly special for you?
Mhm. So we've done 90 partner branded TLDs or top level domain. And that just means it's the naming service, it's the extension piece, like a .com. We've been wanting to partner with Brave. Brave is known for security, privacy, and upholding those standards of decentralization. And we were really excited when they decided to launch .brave with us because what this now does is you can use sandy.brave in the Brave browser. You can use sandy.brave in the Brave wallet. It just brings so much power to existing users. But Brave went even further and they said, we're going to ICANN. So in April, we'll be partnering with them to bring the application forward to take .brave not just as an on-chain domain, but also as an ICANN domain. I think that makes that partnership especially special because of their foresight, their long-term thinking about what the power of that means, not just for them, but more importantly for their users as well.
Okay, so that's that merger between Web2 and Web3 infrastructure again, and it's a really good example.
Yeah. And they're doing very well right now. They have a strong community, and that community really has some very common beliefs. Plus, it's just a cool name, right? Like Dot Brave. Who doesn't want to be Sandy Dot Brave, right? And so it just has a cool name to it as well.
Brian got scared. Okay, so I'm not scared about this next question. I'm actually really excited about this next question because this is close to my heart. So I'm with .ltc bringing Litecoin into the identity and utility space. How do you see these protocol native domains contributing to mass adoption, not just in payments, not just but also actually in identity and reputational value and login?
You know, .ltc for Litecoin
Yeah.
was amazing. I mean, they just blew it away. I loved working with the team there, David Schwartz, um, who, put us on stage too at the Litecoin Summit so that we could tell the story. Their community is so passionate.
I'm envious.
So passionate. And so that was really interesting for us because, they're like a derivative of Bitcoin. I don't know if they're going to hate me for saying that, but they just really have some very passionate users. And in fact, when we were at the Litecoin Summit, they're going to be one of the coins that is going to exist on the moon, which is quite crazy too. But they just have a passionate community, and I think any successful TLD has a very passionate community, which Litecoin has today as well.
Simplicity is the thing with Litecoin. Slow and steady wins the race. We all know the tortoise and the hare, that old fable. Yeah, I do. I think that's really exciting. And these kind of partnerships are very exciting that you've just explained. Now, on the subject of simplicity, do you think that is a core sort of support for, or strength, sorry, for Unstoppable? Users don't need all sort of wallets, gas, or even Web3 knowledge and stuff like that. Like, potentially my dad could potentially interact with it, maybe not. But behind that is a ton of innovation, behind the scenes, behind the actual, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. What do you think is the biggest technological breakthrough in giving us that simple user experience?
I think one of the coolest things we've done is we've kind of hidden the fact that you get a wallet. I teach classes, and trying to get someone set up on a wallet is quite hard, right? Using an exchange, trying to figure out all your passwords, your private keys, all of that is just hard. So we've made it super simple. We have an MPC wallet that is behind the scenes. And I don't know if you know, but we've worked with farmers, for example. We have a .grow that's in particular for the company called FarmScent that works to connect farmers who are growing coffee or oranges to buyers of that. And the power of that is that they don't have to pay a third party. They don't have to wait 120 days. And farmers have very low margins. So this is really crucial for them. But think about a farmer, probably not the most technical crowd of people. So we had to make this very easy for them. And so that was one of the things that we were looking for when we created this way that you can store your on-chain domain without having complexity of that wallet. It's really not shared with you.
That's good. I'm just thinking about you going along to some of the farmers around Armagh, where I'm from, and trying to explain on-chain stuff to them. But
You
like,
don't have to because it's just there automatically. So you don't have to educate on it. It just works, right? It's just like trying to explain AI to someone. It's hard, right? But then you go on Amazon, you're using it, but you don't know it. It's under the covers. That was kind of like our model. We wanted to make sure that people had the power of on chain, but you really don't know you're using it. You just get the power.
that's the key for mass adoption. Now, identity is changing fast, especially in the world of wallets, dApps, on-chain credentials. How do you envisage the role of domain evolving in the future? Is it just a name, or is there something bigger going on here?
I think there is something bigger. I think one of the trends that are out there today is real world assets. And a real world asset is something that exists but also has a digital format of it. I think that's what a domain is. It's really a RWA for real estate, for example, or for someone's identity or for someone's passport for information that they have. And it's a trusted verified form of that too, not just anything, right? So if you think about LinkedIn, for example, 30% of people who put on LinkedIn that they went to a particular school never went to that school. Why is that? No one verifies that.
Have you checked my LinkedIn?
You're one of those?
Ah, no, I did. I did. Check it out, guys. I'm really, 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 really proud of that. I did.
So I think it's important that you have that real world asset kind of vision and perspective of where you're going. And I think that's part of what domains will be. I mean, as people invest in them today, and they really call it investing in a domain, it represents your identity, it represents your company, it represents your real estate. And the coolest new thing that we've done is recently we partnered up to launch .twin. And .twin is that domain set aside for AI agents, which I think is super cool. So these guys, the company we partner with is Synergistics, and what they do is they create AI agents for banks, AI agents for retailers, and those agents actually have a crypto wallet. But instead of using that complexity again, we want to simplify it. And so we hide that complexity with a domain name. So you might be, Mary Bank Teller One might be your digital identity, which is a domain. So now you have an opportunity for a domain to represent a company, to represent a person like us, or an AI agent. And all the studies show that every person in the world will have 3 to 5 agents in the long term. So that's a huge opportunity as well.
That is a huge opportunity and a really growing space there. And talking about these new cool things that are going to happen in the future. Finally, final question. Thank you for joining us. And it's really thank you for your patience. What excites you the most about the next chapter for Unstoppable Domains? Whether it's these TLDs, the integrations, or even the cultural shift that you've helped to lead, what's the story that you see? What's your designs? What's your aspirations for, say, this time next year?
Mhm. I think one is being able to provide a domain for businesses, for people, and for agents. I mean, if you think about it, there's like 450,000 companies, 7 billion people.
Mm.
And then if you have 3 to 5 agents per person, that's just a huge responsibility providing all of those people with their own real world asset. I think that's one of the big visions that we have for this as well. I think second is making sure that we approach ICANN in the right way with these partners. Many of these partners really desire or are passionate about having not just an on-chain domain or TLD for themselves, but also having the capabilities of DNS that comes with ICANN. And so that's a big part of our future as well, is leveraging our knowledge of ICANN, working with ICANN, being a ICANN accredited registrar. That sort of thing is really important to us. And then I think the final thing is just that simplicity that you talked about. Constantly innovating. We innovate at a rate and pace that I haven't seen at any other company. Just making sure that we can keep up with our users. And do that in a way that, that really delights them. So, for example, we launched a marketplace so that they can buy and sell their own domains. Remember you said you did that segment and people were like, ooh, you want to buy this domain?
Yeah.
We actually set up a two-sided marketplace so you can actually do that. If you were looking for a name, you could go try to find it in our marketplace. Or if you're trying to sell a domain, you could also try to,
Right.
patent that up as well. It's those kind of innovations that I think also listening to our users, right? At Amazon, when I worked at Amazon, we called it customer obsession.
Okay, well, there's so much there about the future. We've got AI agents. We've got working hand in hand with ICANN as you move forward. So it's like Web2 and Web3 sort of emerge and crossovers and stuff like that. And then I've got the image of in my head of farmers actually,
Yeah.
going on chain and stuff like that. This is excellent, honestly, and it's been an excellent interview, Sandy. Thank you very, very much for coming on Being Crypto.
And thank you for such great questions. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Fun to do it.
Uh,
I mean, no, I mean,
oh, this? Oh, no, this good. It's good quality. It's great
I
quality.
know it's become
Yeah.
such great quality.
Oh, yeah.
How would you have bought that 10 years ago?
So the
You-
phone mic and the phone camera is just excellent. It really is. Because, Genesis, you have a big sort of like
It's connected actually with that. So that's the reason why it's really good.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, is that there is a, I mean, how it works